right, so let's get into our next presentation here real quick. This one is about MSA. So this is really important. Magnuson-Stevens Act is what governs our fishery management process and really what causes a lot of problems sometimes. So let's quickly go through this. This could be a 2 or 3 hour discussion, so kind of difficult to go through the whole thing real quick, but I'll do the best I can. So the Magnuson-Stevens Act was created back in 1976. The House and Senate worked through it with the committees and legislative process, and they made this bill. And it's the expansion of the U.S. water. It's basically started from trying to keep foreign fishing fleets out of our waters. That was the reason it started. The Magnuson-Stevens Act. And so it's 1976 is when it started. It was originally called the Fishery Conservation and Management Act of 1976. Then it became MSA over time. The Magnuson-Stevens Act named for the people that kind of the I think it was senators, Don Magnuson. I forget the names, but it's named after the people who kind of got the thing off the ground. But basically what it did is it created a conservation zone and it established exclusive fishery management authority over the Gulf and the fishery conservation zone. So what was happening is foreign fleets were coming in the Gulf and fishing our waters. Foreign fleets were fishing off of California. The Russians and the Japanese were fishing off California and Washington and Alaska. We had foreign fleets in the Northeast fishing for our salmon and tuna. So they wanted to get these foreign fishing fleets out of our coastal U.S. waters, and they did that by creating MSA. It banned foreign fishing. It established national standards. It created regional fishery management councils. So 1976, the Gulf of Mexico Fishery Management Council was created. 8 regional fishery management councils. And it established procedures for how councils are to create FMPs, or fishery management plans. It introduced the idea of optimum yield, which means they must manage the fishery to allow us to take the most amount of fish possible while keeping the fishery healthy. It also created a process for the Secretary of Commerce to implement council-passed fishery management plans. And it established what actions are prohibited. Now, it's been reauthorized twice. Reauthorization happened first in 1996. The second one was in 2006, 2007. And these reauthorizations added more rules and really kind of made it a little bit more intricate and difficult. So basically, a big thing that Magnuson does is it governs the way that we're allowed to kind of move forward. So it added in 1996, I believe, one of the things, no, not 96. In 2006, the reauthorization in 2006, 2007, it added the ACL. So this one's the Reauthorization Act of 2006. It prohibited council from setting harvest levels above what's recommended by the Council's Science and Statistical Committee. It required annual catch limits. It required accountability measures, which we talked about earlier. The accountability measure in gag grouper is going to screw us hard. And it was added as a part of MSA in 2006, 2007, in that most recent authorization. And it established guidelines for the development of limited access privilege programs. A LAP, a limited access privilege program, is what an IFQ is. So the IFQ program is a limited access privilege program, or a LAP. And that was introduced in 2006, 2007, and established in the Gulf in 2009. It also included new recreational specific measures. So one of the problems that MSA has in general is it was a very, very focused on foreign fishing fleets and commercial fishing fleets, because remember, back in 1976, there wasn't a bunch of recreational fishermen. The private recreational fleet is expanded exponentially and grown exponentially over time. As boats became more readily available, outboard engine technology increased. Yamaha does a really great job getting people out there. So more people on the water, more private recreational anglers, more stakeholder conflict, and it has caused MSA to cause a little bit more problems, because MSA had to modernize a little bit and kind of account for some of those recreational fishery issues that MSA doesn't do a great job with, because it was designed for the commercial fishery, and it was designed to keep foreign fleets out of our waters. So over time, these reauthorizations have added some environmental protections. 2006, 2007 reauthorization was very conservative, adding a bunch of things that really made fishery management be more conservative, with the accountability measures, the ACLs being mandatory, and establishing an ACL for every species, or annual catch limit is what an ACL is. And it also said the council had to follow what the SSC said. In the past, the SSC, or Science and Statistical Committee for the council, which we're going to get into and explain here in a minute, used to be able to set a catch level, and if the council didn't like it, they could just ignore it and do whatever they want. Now they have to follow the recommendation from the SSC, which makes the SSC a little bit more powerful and makes the council council process a little bit more tricky. That was a very quick explanation of what MSA is. And I would like to talk more about it, but I definitely want to try to finish this show in somewhat of a timely fashion. We are going to run a little over tonight, but not too much.